Hello and good morning, everybody. Um, the session is talking about pre-banking, and it was a bit heavy with technical terms. And believe me, I did my best to avoid technical terms, but this is my best. If there is any technical terms you feel you need more explanation, please approach me after the session. BBC Media Action is a media development organization. It's the international and independent charity arm of the BBC. We work with partners around the world to provide audience, to provide people with impartial, trustworthy, and accurate information when they need them to build and to make their own choices and decisions. In the world of mis and disinformation, media action focus more on the proactive approach rather than the reactive approach. And by proactive approach, we mean that building resilience within audience against mis and disinformation instead of correcting the mis and disinformation, instead of debunking it. We're focusing more on the proactive approach and building the resilience within the audience against this disinformation. Pre-banking falls under a proactive approach. Like media literacy also falls under a proactive approach. Pre-banking is, the word is like a play around a word debunking. It's kind of a prior debunking or preventative debunking. It's mainly raising awareness content, but it's a structured content. It should be follow certain structure. Quickly, pre-banking approach or pre-banking intervention was developed by the University of Cambridge like a few years ago under the name of inoculation theory. So the initial theory was inoculation, how to inoculate people against disinformation. Again, it's structured. We should follow certain structure. Pre-banking content should include three components: warning audience, warning people about possible disinformation they might encounter. Like the warning part is the first part. Explanation, the second part. Explain to people why this is possibly mis or disinformation. The third part is harmless sample, like one example of the disinformation they might encounter. So the three structure together make the pre-banking content. In Libya, we had this project in Libya. We built this project on like initial research about audience consumption, about online content consumption, and audience habits. Also, we supported with formative research about what type of disinformation was spread in Libya. Back to the pre-banking. What to pre-bank if we don't know what we will face in the future? Pre-banking could goes in two ways. One, tackling narratives, like dealing with narratives instead of small pieces of disinformation, because most of the misinformation, disinformation are feeding in a higher narrative, overarching narrative. Like, for example, the earth is flat. COVID vaccine is harmful, is not useful. So this is the higher narrative, and there is a lot of small pieces of information or misinformation that feeding in this higher narrative. With pre-banking, one of the way we do pre-banking, we deal with the higher overarching narrative instead of these small pieces. The other way is to deal with tactique or techniques of manipulation. Also, most of the mis and disinformation spread online used what's so-called manipulation techniques, like emotional languages, like personal attack. Instead of criticizing the discourse, we're criticizing the person. We attack the person. Like also scapegoating, conspiration, ideation. So there is a list of manipulation technique. Pre-bunking could deal with the technique itself, regardless the content. So build the resilience with an audience against this manipulation technique. Again, in Libya, we had this initial project. We did formative research, and we spotted some of the most used techniques, and we try to target a specific target audience. But then we want to follow this structure, but we wanted to make it local. We went very local with that project, and we brought local content creators to brainstorm the most possible and useful format, treatment to this content. And we figured out that there is preferences to have it short, funny, light, comedy sometimes, indirect sometimes, and bringing stories from the society, from the local societies. We developed 8 different scenarios. We tested them. We did a lot of focus groups, and we prioritized like 4 of them. We produced 4 in different shape, in different formats, and we also tested them again after the production. We selected 2 pieces. One is a short drama, mini drama, funny comedy drama, talking about scapegoating, raising awareness about the scapegoating technique in spreading disinformation. The other was animation, educational content, straightforward, targeting audience, talking about emotional language. We tested these 2 videos like on national representative sample, and we got 2 significant results so far, relatively significant. The first one, people who were exposed to the scapegoating content were less willing to share this kind of content when they encounter it. And people who were exposed to the emotional language were more able to spot emotional language and avoid it. And this is relatively, I said relatively because it's comparable with the control group. We had like control group and the group who were exposed to this pre-bunking content. Where to go next in this? We're trying to develop kind of strategy to be implemented, on our work in the whole countries we're working in. And we want to go beyond short formats. We want to look for fun to go beyond short format, maybe to go for a drama production, because in our experience also drama was more able to tackle complicated issues, to open a discussion, a safe discussion about complicated issues in societies, and to contribute in social and behavior change. So this is our future steps, going to develop strategy for that, for pre-bunking work, and also trying to implement it on longer format and mainly drama format. This is the presentation in general. I hope it was clear, and yeah, as I mentioned, after the session, if there is any question or need to elaboration, please approach me. Thank you.